let's finish up this section center here for our text. So we already have a height attached to it, so let's just copy some of the top one here. I could probably have done this a little bit smarter, but whatever. Where's the center one? Where did it go? Top, there we go. So we're just gonna take, we don't have red, we want the color at least. So I'm gonna take the background, and I'm gonna write everything. I'm lazy, it doesn't matter. So we have the background for the gray color, and we want the text color as well. So you can copy it as long as you want to. Font size, it's whatever, we don't need font size, I think. Let's add it anyway, 32 pixels, can't remember if it's the same. So we're gonna add a padding top for 5 view height, so it's not smashed together, so there's a little space. And I'm gonna use display flex in this one to control the elements inside of this one instead of just the normal one. And I'm gonna use box size border box, so it respects the section height and everything inside of it. Cool, that's kind of the first thing we want to do here. So let's click save. It should still be working, and it just attach the, oh, it's a little bit easier to see so you can see them fade in and out now. Woo! There we go. So the next part we're going to do is we're going to set up the actual boxes. And we want to have a standard box, center box with white background, and then the ones inside it, I think. So let's go do that in our code. Now, inside our show, I think it was called show off. Yeah. So we have something called show off container here, right? That's the one we're going to target first. That's like the parent element of all of the 4 smaller containers. So in this one, we are going to again use box sizing to make sure that it respects the size of everything. So padding and so on won't move it around if we're using it, and we will be using it. And then we're going to use, again, display flex in here to control the elements. And we're not going to give this full width. We're going to give it 90 view width. So this is a view width instead of view height. So we'll have 5 on each side, basically. What else we need? We need a height. And again, 90 view height. There we go. And background color, we're gonna just attach white to this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think that was, yes, it was. And I'm gonna add padding 1%. So I'm gonna have space between the boxes for 1%. That's the padding here. And I'm gonna use flex wrap, so it knows when to wrap. There we go. So I'll show you when we get there. But as a standard, everything is on one line, right? When we use flex, instead of going one box down as a default, when we use flex, everything will be on one line if there's room. What we're using flex wrap for is once there's not enough room on this entire line, it's just gonna go to the next line. So it's not gonna like mesh everything into one. So try removing this once you're done with what we're doing, and then you can see the difference. So that's the first one here. Then we also have these show-offs here, right? That we're going to attach some code to. So let's do show off like this. Whoop. There we go. And again, box sizing to make sure it respects the size with the padding and everything. And we're going to use display flex again in here to make sure everything works correctly. And flex basis, this is sort of like width. I'm not entirely sure actually, but that's kind of what I figured out it does. It's working sort of like a width, but not exactly the same. But anyways, so the ampersand, since we're using this one in here, and then .col, oops, because we had those in our code, if you remember, we attached that to our, don't do it. We attached this to each of our 4 blocks here, so they're, so we can specifically target them. There we go. And in these ones, we're going to give a background color of 222, some dark gray, slightly almost blackish color. And we're going to give a margin here. Now this will actually create a gutter between each of the blocks. So I could probably have shown you a little bit of this before we actually got to this specific point, but now we got everything at once. So hopefully you're sort of familiar with the code. It's not really a lot. Display flex, padding, flex, wrap, display, flex spaces, and so on. And then just adding them in. So I'm going to actually remove this for now. So let's do this. Scroll down. So we'll have our animate and scroll. Woo, pretty, right? And then we're going to attach the margin, so we have the space between here. It's not centered though. That's probably because I forgot something up here. So is that right? Center box of parent element. Yes, in here. Yes. So this here, I hope, needs to be justified content center. So we can't just use, as I did before, with text align center, because we're not just using text now. We're actually using div elements, HTML elements. So let's do this. Save, refresh, and now it's centered. And again, fading out, fading in, fading out, fading in. So that's setting up the standard. I'm gonna, in each of these 4 boxes here, we're going to create 4 different sort of animations, different types of text where you have some animations in the background and so on and so on. All right, see you in the next video.